Hi everyone, Chris Area here with Trading with a Trend. I had this stock as a long for trading on February 25th, 2016, and I like the setup here. The stock had been making a series of higher lows here and kind of a lot of gaps and not necessarily much follow through on this chart. Gapped up, chopped around, gapped up here, then reversed, sold off. But here, after trying to push lower multiple times, made a higher low here. And then after this push up, it came back and made yet another higher low here. So you can see the stock is clearly trending upwards in terms of these lows on the daily chart. And during this time frame, we've had a lot of weakness in the markets. And it's actually remarkable that the stock has held up so well, not only holding on to its gains, but actually continuing to try to push higher. While in an uptrend that has been going on for some time. We'll look at it on the weekly chart in a minute. But why I liked it was on this day here, it actually gapped up on earnings and pushed higher. Had this big up day on strong volume. So I thought, there's no reason why it couldn't have one more day up and push up to this previous high here of 72, just over $72. And what it actually did was it opened up right here and then pushed up to it was 72.12, pushed up to a high of 72.52 here. So it did actually break that high. The volume did drop off, but you'd expect that after volume of just under 8 million, with the average volume being closer to 2 or 3. So you'd expect the volume to drop off, but certainly this is the kind of day that we're hoping to get when we're looking for fall through on this day here. So just want to go quickly to the weekly chart. You can see that this stock is clearly in an uptrend on the weekly chart, and it's been moving up since about $40. So this isn't a little bounce here. This is a strong uptrend, very strong relative to the market and even to the rest of the silver sector here. So going now to some smaller time frames, no entries on the 60 or the 15 minute, but looking at the 5 minute here, here's the open, it pulls back, just shoots up, and then kind of flags here. You can see a series of lower highs here and higher lows as it's flagging, and it breaks out of that flag and puts out another move. Now what's interesting about this is the size of this move. So the stock came from a low here of 68.56, and it moved up to a high here of 70.79. So that is a $2.23 move. Now after it finishes, its pullback here, it's flagging it at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars, to push up to here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars, and the uptrend is starting again. So from this low here, the last pivot low, looking at this low of 69.61, we add another 223 onto that. That gives us a target of 71.84. Now where did it hit? It hit 71.92. So within 8 cents of that measured move target. So you're just not going to get any closer than that whatsoever. And it also corresponds to the previous high that we saw on the daily chart of $72, just shy of that, held back by the whole number there. And, after it topped out there and pulled back, you can see it just never really set up cleanly. This attempt here sold off to close right here, and it pulled back more. And then this one right here, that was at one point a solid green candle, pulled back to close right there, and it wasn't really able to get anything clean going. And by this time it's later on in the session, and the early morning moves, those 1, 2 big pushes, they're done. And it's it did end up grinding higher throughout the day, but it's very choppy and unpredictable. But using the measured move concept, two very close moves there, first and second, and looking at this pattern here on the 5 minute, not necessarily the greatest pattern on this 5 minute chart, because the size of these candles, 720 down to 660, I mean that's an 80-cent candle, right? So if you wanted to risk $100, you'd only be trading 100 shares of this stock, right? Yes, it did move, over $2 on that pivot move. That's a large stop. Looking at a smaller time frame, looking at the 2-minute chart here, you can see the stock powered up and then pulled back and then powered up again and pulled back and clearly made a higher low right here. So on the second pullback, this is a great entry right here. You can see the volume declined, just dropped right down here. Made a higher low. You can now see that this wasn't just, a one-shot move, just, this crazy shot up that just, pulled back and sold off to, about half of the move up here, if not more. So, buying this one right here doesn't really seem like, the picture of certainty as far as a trade goes. It seems like, it's pulled back pretty deeply. It's not likely to push up to a new high from here. And sure enough, it didn't. Pushed up, sold off again. Volume dropped off on the second sell off, and then this next one here, after it makes this higher low, that's your kind of optimal entry there, and that does correspond with the flag that we saw on the 5-minute. Going on the 5-minute, you'd be getting in, closer to this area, maybe this candle, this candle, this candle. One of these ones here. It wouldn't be, this one right here after this bottoming tail, but if you were to get in here, that would be a 30-cent stop as opposed to an 80-cent stop. So very good entry here, and no reason you couldn't have trailed it up on the 2-minute, taken a stop right here on at least part of your shares, if not the entire thing, then re-entered right here on this green candle for this last push up. So multiple different ways that you could have traded it, and if you were willing to give a little bit of room and trail out on this 5-minute using the measured move concept, no reason you could have gotten that entire $2.23 move. So it's basically exactly the type of trade that I'm looking for, and that's all I've got to say about this one for now.